In today's video, thanks to the HomeDepot Seeds program, we're looking at the Eglo 18 watt 1500 lumen flush mounted LED fixture. In my closet, as messy as it is, I have one porcelain mounted light bulb, which I'm always afraid that when I'm up here moving around stuff that I'm going to bump that light bulb, and I'd like to have something that's flush mounted. So I think this Eglo flush mounted light will work great in this location. So what comes in the kit? Well, you get instructions, you get 3 wire nuts, 2 Jbox screws, 2 wood screws, 2 wall anchors. We have wires for power, ground, and neutral. And then the actual unit itself, which has a bit of weight to it actually. It is frosted on one side. It is white, very thin, measuring about a 1/2 inch on the side depth, 8 inches across. But the really cool part is that the mounting system that they're using is this plate. You attach this to the Jbox, run your wires through it, and then all you do is just twist this back into place, align it, and this will twist on, and this will hold the fixture in place. So it should be a very fast installation. Of course, it's integrated LED, so there's nothing to change forever, unless the thing actually dies, and then you just swap out the whole unit for something else. One other feature of this light is that you can actually buy different colored trims for it. So if you're tired of white after 3 months, you can get a different color. They stick on magnetically, and just to prove that, the metal bracket is attached to the side. So a nice convenient feature should you decide you don't like the color of white. For this job, we're going to have to remove the mirrored doors out of the way so we have some room, possibly move some clothing out of there. We're going to need a ladder. We're going to need an electrical probe to make sure our wires are de-energized, a straight blade screwdriver and possibly a Phillips, wire strippers, electrical tape, and a work light. So let's get going. Make sure to de-energize the circuit back at the circuit breaker. With the mirrored doors out of the way, a ladder in position, and a work light, we are ready to remove the old fixture. We're going to remove the old light bulb, undo the 2 screws that are holding this in place, and I'm just going to cut out the wire that holds it in place, and I'm going to put my white to white, my black to black, and use a wire nut to secure it, and then we're ready to install the new fixture. Using my probe, I double check, make sure that there's nothing hot in here, and there is wires passing through that are hot, but this end, the 2 leads that I'm working with, are fine. Better to be safe than sorry. With our wires ready, I put in the Jbox screws that are going to catch the bracket. And I just give those a few turns. Get my little bracket. I want to make sure that the edge side is coming down towards us. It's not marked anywhere on the face, but basically there's a curled side, and that's going into the Jbox. You want the other side facing downward. Make sure our wires go through the center. We align. Interesting. Doesn't want to fit. All right, so we have to take off the J screw, put it through. And maybe that's actually a little bit better because This way I know it's not going to come loose. Normally, the J screws would be in position, and there's a round opening in here that would allow the head of the J screw to travel through, but in this case it doesn't, but no big deal. Using the Jbox screws that are included with the kit gives you Phillips, so this means that your driver will not be slipping out like it would with a regular flathead screw. And you want these snug. You don't want to put them on so tight that you deform the plate. A closer look so that you can see that the screw head is away from the opening, even though it's bigger than the opening. This way it gets a better grip because it's grabbing onto more metal. And again, don't deform this plate because your light's going to fit right over it. So right now I'm going to get my wire nuts and attach the leads from the light fixture. Just realized that I have a ground wire on here, but I don't have one in that Jbox. So I'm going to get some bare copper wire. This is stranded. I'm going to get a ground screw and a driver, and I'm going to drive that into the box with this attached to it, and then I'll use a wire nut to mate it to the already tinned ground wire. In order to make this a two-hand installation, I use some wire and a chain to hang the fixture off the Jbox so that I can make my wire connections with just two hands. So this is what it looks like with the chain suspending the fixture. I've made 3 of the 3 connections, but you'll notice that on the ground, the cap, the wire nut, actually slipped off the spring, which is one of the other reasons why I always put electrical tape over my wire nuts so that those kind of things don't happen. I'll need to get another wire nut to replace this one. I've taped off all my wire nuts. They're inside for the hot neutral. The ground is fine as long as it's secure with the wire nut. So now we're going to take this, and you see, I don't know if you could see it here, but at the top there is a lip, and that lip is going to catch. You're going to place that lip here and then turn so it catches at this end. You can only go one way because there's a stop here, and that should secure the light fixture to the bracket. The only really tricky part is lining up and getting all your wire inside the Jbox. Ooh, I might have an issue because that corner, let's see. You see the corner here is up against my wall, and that might be a problem. Let's see if we can get this alignment. There are no markings, no visual markings to help you align it. You just have to know that there are tabs on this side, and then you sort of have to just find where it mates on the ceiling. I've only caught one side of the fixture. So, and it is flush on this side, but this side is loose. So it means I have to come back, but at least I know where the alignment is, right? Oh man, feels like it's a 1 in a million shot. I got it. Don't ask me how I did it. I got lucky. There's no detent to catch. I'm actually perspiring, but it's in, it's secured. So now let's energize the unit. With the circuit breaker back on, we flip the switch and we have light. It's a warm light. And as you can see, it's not glaring. It's even. You can't change the color temperature on this. You can't dim it. But for a closet light, it gives my clothes that nice warm look that I've always wanted to have. So the pros of this unit are that it is small, compact, gives off even light. The bracket is super easy to install. The heartache can be in that, and it's a failure with these systems where you twist on to a bracket with the fixture, is the alignment. In our case, it's a blind alignment, and you just have to keep on trying it until you hit it. And of course, the wires tend to get in the way, and there's no way to push them up because, you know, you can only push them in so much. Then your hand's in the way, and you move your hand out of the way. Then whatever's hanging out can bind and cause issues as you're trying to twist this into position. So that's the big frustration with this. Are there simpler ways to install these? Yeah, I've seen other bracket systems that I think are superior. This sounds great in concept. It's just a little hard in execution. Maybe if it had some guides that you could push up against so that it would guide you into that position, you know, some kind of a snap or detent would have helped with this. But the light it gives off is very nice. I am pleased with that. It doesn't use a lot of energy. I wish you could switch the color temperature, because that seems to be a very common thing now where there's a button on the side or on the back and you can select your color temperature and then leave it at that. And should you decide in the future to switch it, that's fine. I don't need fancy remotes or any of that other stuff. Would have been nice to go with white light as opposed to the warm white, but I'm still very pleased with the unit. Installation can be a bit tough. Hopefully this was interesting, educational. If so, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and join our subscription team and subscribe, thereby eliminating commercials while the video is playing. And as always, thank you ever so much for just watching.